guys, how you doing on this fantastic Tuesday? I just come across a story that obviously I wanted to bring to your attentions. It's a story that was entitled Immigrants in Their 20s Being Placed in Schools with 11-year-olds. That was the title of the story. So obviously I want to have my little say with it. Well, first of all, let's address the fact that it's people, immigrants or displaced people, whatever, but it said immigrants in the story, but obviously displaced, war-torn people in their 20s in schools with 11-year-olds. And obviously that's a shocking title, I can understand that, but obviously I have a few points that I want to make out of that. First one, it says in the story that obviously I will put in the title, that these people that are being admitted to the schools, they don't know their ages. They're lying about their ages. They're 90% of the time, or do you know what I'm saying? They're unsure. That everybody that's saying that they're of school age or the school age for that particular school is actually that age, because they don't actually have any documents or anything, or this, that, and the other, which I can understand to be a problem if that was the case. Yeah. The second one. It does say in the story, it does say how this, Chief of Education of Kent Council sympathises with the immigrants. I don't like the word immigrants. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to change that for a different word. I really don't like that word. For the displaced people. He feels that, he sympathises with them, that they want an education and everything else, which is good. Do you know what I'm saying? I've heard it many a times that people have said about not just the Syrians, but the Indians and the other cultures that come here. Oh, why don't you learn our fucking language? You're always speaking, between yourselves. We can never understand what you're saying, which brings segregation between, certain people. So yeah, I think it's a good thing that, if they are turning up at these schools for an education, do you know what I'm saying? To learn English, to learn to read and write, so they can actually contribute to society, to where they live at the present moment in time. Obviously, with that, and I know you guys are going to be thinking, well, there's so much in the media about Muslim grooming gangs, and if you put Muslim, in with schools of 11-year-olds, you're just feeding their habit and stuff. Well, I feel sorry for you if that's the first thing you think of. The first thing I thought of, obviously, was the problem of 20-year-olds being in schools with 11-year-olds. That's not normal by any person's definition. But if you think about if their actual honest reasons for being, lying about their age is to get an education, is that really bad? If that's the reason they're doing it, that's not the reason. Obviously, the story was shared and the emphasis was given behind it. It wasn't for that. It was, I believe, my personal opinion was to go look, they're putting, grooming Muslims in with, okay, they didn't say it, but that's what they think. People are very, very, very picky with what they think and what they say. I try to be as honest to myself as I can be with you guys. I told you I don't like the word immigrants. I don't. Everybody, has a place on this planet. If you're born, you have a place on this planet. You have a right to be on this planet and live happily and freely. But obviously, the reason the story I think was shared is more of a racist kind of anti-Muslim, thing, or displaced people, do you know what I'm saying, kind of mentality, rather than looking at it to say, well, travellers, what do you mean? Do you mean by the fact of the travelling community picking up, schools as they travel around? From where I'm originally from, I know quite a few, as we all are. Well, yeah, we are travellers. We are travellers on the journey that is life. I agree with you there, Jock. Sorry, I misunderstood what you put there. I was trying to emphasise on, I think, the moral to this story is that they are trying to be, in with our culture, so to speak, by learning English and everything else, which is pet peeves of obviously the people in this country. I remember in my lifetime when the Polish came here, or when the majority of the Polish community went up, and you couldn't understand a word they were saying. Do you know what I'm saying? And everybody had this big problem with it. And over time, Yeah, I said displaced people, Jock, instead of immigrants, because I don't like that word. Can I steal your word, Jock, as travellers? Is that okay? You don't have any copyrights. I won't have to pay you any royalties or anything there, my friend. Um, but yeah, it just annoys me that, and don't get me wrong, the story did need to be published, I believe. It did need to be said that, 20-year-olds are being put in. Yeah, is that better? Jock, you never give me the answer on whether it was okay to steal your word of travellers. But yeah, like I say, I think with the problem with most media things, as in that story, it has its own biased opinion behind it. Where my opinion and thing to it would be, they're looking, they're wanting to come here for educational purposes, and that would be the first thing in my mind. It may not be the first thing in mind for the people that read the story, and then obviously share it, and then obviously put their touch, and ultimately the person that originally wrote the story, which I will put below so you can guys get to see it and let me know what you think. So as usual, guys, that's what I believe on that story. Let me know what you think, because I'm always interested in hearing what you think, as you seem to be interested in what I think. So as usual, guys, peace and love.